Good evening, good afternoon, whoever you find yourself in this weird world, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. Stephanos Argyris, haha, I pronounced it that time, has sent out a text message to the business card that he got from the Hermetic Master, Alexandra D'Onofrio, inviting her to his forge so that perhaps she can answer some of his questions. She has responded that she'll be there in about, from the time you text her, she'll say that she's currently occupied with her duties or tasks, but that she'll be there by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So now the time ticks onward. Stephanos will notice she will knock on the door of his forge as the second hand gets to 3, as the clock ticks to 3.
He's probably actually at that point still working on something, because he wasn't sure exactly how punctual they'd be. He's probably in the process of forging something. I'm just going to say a nice ornate dagger. And as he's currently in the middle of holding it and doesn't want to just douse it or quench it or anything else, he motions for one of the 2 golems to answer the door, and also for the other one to take over what he was doing.
The silver golem will move to open the door, at which point you will see this individual standing outside. As she enters, she will strike a match on the golem and light a cigarette.
Well, it didn't damage it, so I mean...
It goes to show, like, there was no surprise, there was no hesitation. It was just like, oh.
I mean, they're pretty, at least.
The golem gives you a look like, what the fuck?
And you kind of get a shrug, just like... like he... I mean...
It's lovely to see you again, Mr. Argus. She'll say she takes a deep drag from a cigarette.
Yes, I was hoping we might have a brief discussion. I had some questions after reading some of the books on the traditions regarding yours.
By all means. She's going to hop up on like a desk or a workbench that's unoccupied, and she'll continue to smoke. And she'll say, well, as I said, I should probably do informal introductions. You've already had my formal one, so my technical title is Magister, but you can just call me D'Onofrio if you like. Everyone does.
As you wish, and I'm Stephanos. I don't really have a title. I get the feeling when he says he doesn't have a title, there's that twitch of automatic hermetic sympathy for, oh, you poor dear.
Not really. Her face, she maintains entirely blank face.
That's fair. Reaction is there somewhere, though. Anyways, it seems there are many different kinds of mages in your order. I'm not sure if my particular style is a perfect match, but from what I've seen, perfect matches are rare.
Honestly, it's not a matter of finding the correct mold to pour yourself into. It's about creating your own mold and making your own, well, I suppose you know better than I do, about making your own masterwork from yourself.
That is fair. That is indeed my goal.
She continues. She'll take out a pack of cigarettes as she finishes the one she's smoking. She'll offer you one from the pack.
No, thank you. I've appreciated. He doesn't smoke. I don't think
she'll draw one. She'll draw one with her teeth, and you'll notice, rather than strike a match this time, she taps the tip of the cigarette with her finger, and it lights.
Yay! Fire magic. So, there are the books I read did not go into detail, but they mentioned there were many houses, and that each one had its own specialities.
Correct. I, for example, am a member of House Flambeau. We are the contemplates. We protect the other houses.
I believe in the book I was reading, somewhere in the margins, someone had commented, well, it wasn't really a comment so much as a pictogram, mushroom cloud.
Sometimes they call us nukes.
That makes sense then.
But hey, I don't really care. My purpose is to keep the others safe. I do my job.
And that requires quite a lot of energy, I imagine. I would assume that to belong to such an organization as yours, there are things that one would have to sacrifice or costs that would have to be paid.
Define what you mean.
Well, how to phrase? It is likely not as simple as simply saying, you wish to join. Good, you have joined. There would be, I don't know, tests or costs of some kind. I mean, in the olden days, it would be probably something to the effect of a blood pact or something, but I do not know how it is in reality.
I shall say, not really. You just have to want to learn. You have to accept our creed, well, our oath, and that's pretty much it.
What is the creed in your case? To learn, or?
She'll sigh. She'll say, fine.
I can read it if you don't want to have to recite the whole damn thing. I still have the link.
Well, no, in character, she will recite the whole damn thing.
Okay.
Because that's just what she will do. I swear everlasting loyalty to the Order and its members. The Order's enemies and friends are my enemies and friends, and I shall not spurn a friend, nor succor an enemy. I shall not through action or inaction endanger the Order, nor consort with devils, undead, or anger the Fae. I shall not deprive any Order mage of magical power, nor through inaction or inaction attempt to bring harm to an Order mage, except to justly declared and open certain. I shall not spy on I shall not spy by any means or manners on other mages' private works, nor read other mages' mind, or invade or observe another's mage's sanctum, save to guard against clear, direct, forceful, and imminent threat to the safety of the Order. I shall, if called before tribunal, I shall abide by its verdicts. If called to sit on a tribunal, I shall vote wisely, respect the votes of others, and support the tribunal's verdicts. Upon reaching the 5th degree or higher, I shall attain apprentices and instruct them in this code. I shall bear the responsibility for my apprentice and shall duly admonish, restrain, discipline, or attest, arrest an apprentice who endangers the Order, and shall yield some apprentice to the Order's lawfully appointed agent or tribunal. I shall swear to uphold the sacred code of Hermes and venture any risk or sacrifice to protect it. I shall breach. Should I breach it, may mages of the Order rise as one united to hunt me down and destroy me forevermore. I shall solemnly swear to vigorously and actively pursue the enemies of Ascension and to unmake their works in this world and all others.
That is certainly an impressive creed. It seems at some points very broad and at other points as specific as a scalpel. And most of it does not seem very objectionable. I had no intention of consorting with demons or anything of that nature. Let's see. I know nothing of the Fae. I've heard of them, but I thought they were stories. I'm still somewhat new to this. Let's see. The undead. That would be vampires and such. Yes.
Yes.
No problems there. Let's see. Only encounter I've had with them so far is to see them killed, so I'm quite content to stay far away from that. Let's see. And no spying on other mages. That applies to all mages, not simply of the order, correct?
It depends on your interpretation.
Interpretation. So it's that is why it is sometimes a bit more vague. Of course, if someone above your station interprets it differently than you, it is their interpretation that matters, yes?
She'll nod.
I see.
Ultimately, it exists to keep you safe as well as enforce the law upon others.
That is reasonable. I can tell that from much of the earlier portion of it, and the latter. If there is a hypothetically, if I were to join, is there a house that you would recommend in my case, or is that something that would be determined much later? Or
I don't know anything about you other than the fact you make things.
that is most of what I am right now. I am. Well, let's see. It all started with me making a golden apple, and it kind of went on from there. Apparently, it is still somewhat unusual to be visited by a deity.
Depends on the deity.
Eris, goddess of discord. But I seem to have some connection to ancient Greek magic, and I must admit, when I first heard the name of your organization, I thought it was a religious cult, since it had the name of Mercury. But it apparently is not. It is more of a cult of knowledge, I have been told. Though that word is not meant in any offensive capacity. It's perhaps then you would have questions for me that might help you answer that better. I'm not sure what to say.
She'll shrug and she'll say, "There are many houses. You've got the likes of House Bonasagas who focus on the theory and the higher concepts of the arcane. You've got myself, House Flambeau, who are, as I say, the protectors, the shields. You've got House Quisitor, who are the judges and those who interpret the code. You've got House Titalis, who are will masters and tacticians, perhaps. You probably fit into House Viditius. They're enchanters. I call them, well, they're called the Forge of Hermes, or the Children of Iron.
That does sound somewhat similar.
You don't say.
They Like, he thinks for a moment, like he's trying to gather his thoughts. If I were to join, what would be expected of me other than upholding this code? Would I be? I assume I would not simply be left to my own devices.
You'd be given a teacher, more than likely me.
Ah.
But other than that, yeah, we'd probably just leave you alone after a fashion, unless you were needed.
That is fair. Are there many of us in the city? Or I should not say us. I have not made a decision yet. I apologize. And nor if you said that it was willing, but forgive my
chantry located here. Though I'm not the head of the chantry, I would never want to be the head of a chantry. There's
political position?
Yes. It also means that I have to deal with the fuck up of every young apprentice.
Ah, yes, that would be stressful, I suppose. Are there many apprentices of new stature in the city, or?
Will you forgive me if I'm honest with you, Mr. Algrease?
Yes.
What age are you?
I have to look that up because Solon's a dumbass. I pray I wrote it down. He is 35. 35.
You're rather older than most. This isn't like
Uh,
a fucking. She'll say she stubs out another cigarette before taking another one and lighting it. This isn't a you're 2 year old to be trained Padawan situation exactly, but you're still much like, for example, I had my awakening. I came into the world of magic when I was 16.
Less than half of my age.
Most people tend to do in their mid to late 20s. So it would just be a matter. When I say there are apprentices, yes, but there are many of them much younger than you are. I hope that doesn't in any way affect your thinking.
Yeah, I would assume age and body are of no true import in this case. It is about your knowledge of magic.
She'll shrug.
Eh, I do not mind taking orders or cues from those younger than me, if that is the question. That is simply the way of things.
She'll shrug. If it helps, I'm 110 years old.
Doesn't she look like she's in her 20s?
Yes, her late 20s, early 30s.
There's a couple blinks. So, Philosopher's Stone? Or, no, I should not ask. Forget I said anything. Impressive.
She'll smile and she'll say, "Have you met the nominal head of our 9 traditions in the city?"
Yes. Very nice man, I thought.
He is. Well, he's a priest. I tend to find that most of them are nice. If it helps, he was born in the 11th century.
Gulp. That is a little beyond impressive, slightly intimidating.
When you reach his status, everything about them are intimidating.
I can only hope that to reach that sensation myself, though I believe that will be long from now. One can hope.
I have no doubt of this. But she kind of sits cross-legged on the workbench, and she'll say, "My point is just that, yes, there are apprentices here, and as I said, you would more than likely become my apprentice. Because
And
I more than Magister Crowshaw does."
that is fair. And it would not matter if I were to join a different house, then? You would still be my master?
Correct.
Ah. Okay.
You would just pursue the pursuits of the house. We actually teach in a relatively uniform manner, in the sense that the basics will universally be the basics.
Interesting. There was something. Shit, OC. I was about to ask something. I completely forgot it. Give me 1 second. What was it? Something you said. It wasn't Crowshaw. That I don't think any of my characters have met Crowshaw.
He only appears when things really go bad.
I mean, I've seen things go bad, but usually he still doesn't show up. Okay. He'll just, since I can't remember it, he'll nod. He'll say, that is definitely very interesting. I must ask, and this is, I hope you will not take this the wrong way, but I have only been awakened to this world, shall we say, for, as you put it, for a week, something like that now. There seem to be many lines of division among the traditions, and those who are apparently not of the traditions.
Yes.
How would I phrase this? Damn, my voice. Perhaps, would it be safe to say that by joining the Order, I might earn myself a few, if not outright enemies? Well, I probably would earn actual enemies that way, but there would be some who would look down on this decision somehow. Remember, same is true of joining any tradition.
Remember, the oath states, "Our enemies are your enemies, but our friends are your friends." it also means that in the Order, I would personally lay down my life to defend you, because
That
that's my
is
job.
that is actually very impressive. But obviously, I would prefer for the reverse to be true. That is more appropriate. But etiquette zero. Etiquette zero. Sorry.
I know what you're going to buy over the downtime.
It's that, or he's going to find himself doing a lot of menial chores.
Couldn't you enchant a broom to do this? In theory, yes, but I have perfectly good Stephans.
Exactly. The House Verdicius you mentioned. One quick question. You said they are the forgers. They make things. They are enchanters. But I do not advertise this. But I have some. Well, how to put this? I have a PhD in robotics. How high tech are these Verdicius?
Many call them technomancers.
Oh, that is promising.
I should think so.
Well then. Oh.
It was a friend of mine. Have you met a man named Hayan?
Yes.
It was a magister from House Veditius who essentially removed the technocracy tracking chip located in his cerebral cortex.
Now that is impressive.
Mm-hmm. Mostly because I wouldn't have a bloody clue what to do with it.
There was one other thing. Last thing, I believe, because I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. The books that I read spoke much of the spheres. How to phrase this? I do not seem capable of, uses air quotes, doing things much. I have a little skill with matter, and but everything else that was mentioned, I have some understanding of. Is that likely to be useful, or?
D'Onofrio reaches out a hand, and you'll see her flick her wrist. A tattoo on the back of her hand will glow ever so slightly. You can see it through her glove. The fire in your forge will immediately burst into much more radiant life than it was, at which point she will draw out a spurl of the flame as if she was drawing cloth and maneuver it around her hands until in the center of her hand, as she moves them in a circle, a perfect butterfly made of fire will appear.
He is fascinated by this.
She will then move the butterfly around the room before she will bring it back to her hand, in which case, for the record, she's taking a crap load of paradox with it. She will then blow on the butterfly, at which point you will see the butterfly transmogrify into a real living insect that sits on her hand.
Blink, blink.
When one understands one understands a pillar. When one understands all, one can build a house.
So, yes, it is a very good thing then.
She'll nod.
Well then, and he, for the record, still doesn't know enough about magic to realize just how much paradox she took. Otherwise, he'd be like, "Oh, Jesus." He'll nod and say, "Well, in that case,
if you remember House Flambeau, they're used to taking paradox. It's fine."
What is it? It's breakfast again. Time to take paradox. Whose turn is it to blow up the kitchen? Anyways, well then, I will definitely take what you have said and consider it very seriously. I cannot give you an answer just yet, but I will probably be able to do so within a couple of days at the most. I am still investigating a few things, but so far this is very promising.
She hops down from her table where she's been sitting, and she will open a window and let the butterfly fly out. Fly, butterfly. Before
That
she
explodes into
will say,
paradox. No, I'm just kidding.
"May I give some advice, Mr. Harkers?
Yes.
I fight an endless battle to preserve life. I do. I'm a soldier. That's what my house does. We make sure that other people can sleep in their beds safely. You're hanging out with a lot of Euthanatos. Yeah?
I cannot confirm or deny that at this moment, but I have met a few.
Have they told you what the good death is?
Oh, see? No, they have not. So he's just going to be like, blink, blink. They spoke a lot about reincarnation.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a kid with leukemia.
Okay.
They believe in enforced euthanization.
For sick and elderly, or what?
For those who they judge to be ready to die, even if it just means your karma's out of whack.
Huh. That is somewhat disturbing, yes.
I'm just saying to be careful.
Much appreciated. And I gotta get going here. I'm sorry. Good place to wrap it up, you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. With that, thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching. Hope to catch you all later.